We do have a new client update for Ergo. So if you need to, basically, if you're running a node, it's time to upgrade. This version is 4.040, and this is going to essentially add in two things. 1802, which is validation errors, now always have a block section ID and type ID, and 1808, which is improvements in block section delivery checking log. So there is also going to be voting for the 5.0 soft fork. So this version is voting for 5.0 soft fork automatically. To vote against it in the config, you need to set this specific setting. Now, if you guys would like a guide on this, if you're running a node, I think you already know where the config is. But, you know, at least now you can go ahead and vote for it. Whereas previously, if you just had basically 3.8, which was 3.0.38, if you had that version running, you were automatically just voting for it in general. So there's a 5.0 soft fork coming up. If you guys would like a video specifically on what that soft fork proposal is going to be, let me know and I'll get a video out for you guys on that. If you are going to upgrade, it's nice that you can upgrade now and in your config vote for or against it, as opposed to previously you just had to run an older version of the node to vote against it, which is obviously not advantageous if you're wanting to keep your clients up to date and all of that. So this is the new release. Of course, this was 7 hours ago from Kushti, and they just keep pumping out more and more work, which is awesome. And we have a development update too for Aneta on the Ergo blockchain, and this development update came out yesterday, so let's go ahead and get that covered. This article discusses their development update for the anetaBTC protocol and related infrastructure. So over the last few weeks, the Aneta team has been preparing their testnet launch on Ergo for Q3. They are excited to report that progress is coming along well, and they're still on track with this timeline. This week, their Vault team continued building the extended Ergo tool and Ergo Dex functionalities to their application for Ergo transactions through the web interface. They set up final infrastructure, hosts, application instances, etc. for in-house testing with their engineering team. They continued preparation and deployment of their in-house testing of the full wrapping protocol pipeline, and they finished unverified minting and redeeming smart contract pipeline, double-checked verification systems, relay and verify smart contracts, implementations, and other possible vulnerabilities in preparation for tests of the full wrapping protocol. Finalized wrapping UI and started connecting it with the V1 backend. They expect this implementation will take a few weeks, and then they will prepare the private deployment on the V1 testnet, followed by launching on the public testnet. Also, they'd like to congratulate Interlay for the successful launch of anetaBTC on Polkadot's mainnet. Their protocol architecture leans heavily on their 5+ years of established published research, and their protocol has experienced great success with high security and decentralization. And you can try the Interlay's protocol if you like with the link in the description below. They still anticipate making progress on the Aneta wallet to have full ADA, ERG, and Bitcoin compatibility over the next few weeks. However, their development team is all hands on deck in preparation for launching the anetaBTC V1 testnet on Ergo. Following the launch of anetaBTC testnet on Ergo, they will pick up the development of the Aneta wallet. I'm having some weird mouse issues, so give me a second here. I don't know why. All right. So mining with anetaBTC, the anetaBTC smart pool with getblock.io has now been live for over a month. They are currently working on or with getblock.io to implement phase 3 of mining with anetaBTC, where holders of Aneta Angel NFTs will see increased mining rewards. They are finalizing testing on the Ergo testnet. However, the testnet Explorer has recently been down, and they are awaiting the testnet to be up and running again to proceed further. They expect phase 3 on Ergo mainnet will be live shortly after that. As far as staking, the anetaBTC staking pool is almost up and running. The contracts for both CNETA on Cardano and Neta on Ergo are complete. and they are finalizing the implementation of contracts to the front end. They believe they should be ready to launch on mainnet in August. The current game plan for CNETA is to have 2 staking options that present a 10% or 15% APR. For NETA, they plan to present 1 staking option where they target an APY of 12.5%. The exact timeline for staking will be announced closer to the mainnet staking launch. Here's some interesting stuff too. As far as angels go, the first aneta angels on Ergo airdrop is set to commence shortly. We talked about this yesterday. 10%. We have a number now though. So basically, once again, we were talking yesterday about basically taking your aneta angels off of any sort of auction house or listing. That way you do get, of course, these airdrops that are coming. And it does say the number is going to be 10% of NETA tokens will be airdropped to angel holders. So the distribution of these NETA tokens for holding aneta angels will lead up to the anetaBTC staking. So more details will be provided in the coming days, but we are starting to get some numbers, and 10% of the NETA will be dropped to holders of aneta angels on Ergo specifically. Governance. They are getting ready to implement their first NETA CNETA governance vote. We are proposing the first vote to be whether or not they should use a percentage of anetaBTC revenue to acquire SIG USD and then use it to provide liquidity on the SIG USD ERG pairing on Spectrum, which was formerly ErgoDex. And speaking of that, yes, ErgoDex did upgrade their front end and on top of that, their UI was upgraded, and they changed the name from ergodex.io to now spectrum.fi. You will be automatically redirected to spectrum.fi, but it is basically a name change and a kind of a front end change that's going on. I can show you guys that actually here real quick. So spectrum.fi. And this is pretty much what it looks like. It's not too much different, but there is a change that has gone through as far as this goes. So now it's app.spectrum.fi. I think they'll keep the redirect in there for a little bit longer. So final remarks, they say their growing development team at anetaBTC from around the world is hard at work developing crucial infrastructure for Cardano and Ergo ecosystems, and they encourage members of their community to contribute to anetaBTC and related projects to help them see their vision through. Additionally, please keep a lookout for their Catalyst Fund 9 proposal. This will support long-term development and sustainability for their team and community, and will fund audits from the best firms to optimize security for the protocol. They sincerely thank each and every member of the community for their support. Why is this relevant, right? Because we talk about it. We've talked about aneta a lot in the past and so on. But why is aneta relevant on Ergo? And this really comes down to the reason why Ergo is relevant with the impending merge. And you guys have probably seen me talk about it before, but the idea that Ergo is the only ground up competitor to Ethereum that will remain proof of work. If we talk about ETC, of course, ETC is a fork of Ethereum, so it's a little bit different, but it can be, of course, a proof of work competitor to Ethereum. However, it's not ground up, right? And when we start talking about the projects that are being built on top of Ergo, these are your opportunities that are possibilities, right? Because essentially you have the opportunities early on right now to get into, of course, the stable coin with the SIG USD and so on. The opportunities to start adding liquidity before people really start adopting Ergo. And that could be for any of the tokens on the network. And aneta in particular will be, as far as we can tell, the first wrapped version of Bitcoin on Ergo, which will be extremely significant. Now, with all of this, a lot of risk is there, right? We're fully aware of the high risks within DeFi right now and the high risks within bridging between networks. So also we want to pay attention to this bridge that's going to be taking place between Ergo and Cardano later on, because there will be, of course, potential for some attacks and hacks and so on and stuff like that that goes into it. So once again, it's very important to make clear that this is not financial advice, But the relevance of Aneta in particular is that it will be the first wrapped Bitcoin protocol on the Ergo blockchain. And this is very early on in what's going on in the Ergo ecosystem. It's not dissimilar from ErgoPad being essentially the first IDO platform on Ergo. So these are like very early projects that you have opportunities within. Of course, with those opportunities come very high risks, but that's why we are covering these things. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com, where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.